Now that we've got the initial Cloud9 environment configured, the next step is to show the true power of how it would work in developing a Lambda function or even working on an existing Lambda function. Earlier, we had gone through and we created a hello world inside of the AWS console. What we can do now is import that hello world function into our local development environment and then edit it. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle this section on the right here where it says AWS resources, and you can see it says remote functions. If I highlight that and I drop down the menu, we can see all of these different remote Lambda functions that I can actually import. So if I go through here and I grab, let's say, hello add, which is one of the functions we created earlier, I can double click on this, and what it will do is it'll import that into my local environment. Once that's done, it's very quick. You can see here that it puts this Lambda function right in my immediate development environment. And if I wanted to, I can make changes to it and modify it. So let's say add an additional comment to this doc string here. If I say adds two numbers and returns value, right? You can see I'm able to easily edit that. And now if I want to run it and verify that the code works, the next thing that I would do is I would go through and invoke it. We'll do that in a second, but the main takeaway here is that it's trivial to both create Lambda functions locally and import them. And so let me also show you how you could create a Lambda function locally as well. So to do that, what you would do is you would select this icon, and if I say create a new Lambda function, it'll then go through this wizard. So I can say hello2, and it'll show us that it's going to create that in the US East Region 1. And then again, I can go through and I can select from runtimes. I'll say Python 3.6 runtime here. And then I could choose anything I want here as a template. And the real key item here is that you can decide what trigger. We've gone through this earlier. There's lots of different triggers. I'm going to say by default none. And then here as well is where you would provision a role that would give it access to some other resource. Since we're not triggering on anything else, we're just creating a simple function locally, I can go through here and leave the defaults. Once you do that, then it'll populate a local environment here for us, and it'll create a virtual environment so you can install packages, and it'll create a basic scaffolding for us. And this is really the power of this development environment is it creates the whole skeleton for us and allows us to easily go through and make modifications. So again, if I want to go through here and add some change, it's very simple. I can add some doc strings. This is a function. And now I have a full development environment that I can actually use to do Lambda development. And also, I can actually install packages locally as well. So that's really the power of both creating functions inside of Cloud9 and also importing existing functions so that you can work with your team and develop serverless applications.